And we are live. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr. I am the founder, president, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. And joining me live here is my wonderful, beautiful, talented brother from another mother, Mr. James T. Thomas. How you doing, Mr. Thomas? How you doing, brother?
Rob, I'm on fire. I'm on fire,
I
Rob.
know you are. I know.
I'm on fire.
Hey, James, are you as good as you ever been right now?
Oh, better than I've ever been, but not as great as I'm going to be. Rob, every day it gets better and better. He keeps showing us. Rob, as a matter of fact, I know you've been, people won't believe it, but I guess 24 hours ago, you were in LA, right? Or California, somewhere. Right?
Yeah, LA. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I mean, to be able, I was in my study, I was listening to Miles again this morning, and he was talking about how there was an elderly woman at 84, and she was on her mission, and they were asking her how she traveled with just one bag, and they were asking, "How do you do this?" She said, "You look down, you're obsessed." But if you keep looking down and don't look up and get up and move up, oh, come on, man, Rob. People miss out on what is out there for all of us that we cannot see. Isn't that something, Rob? And my study was about vision and discipline. We can't see. Well, first of all, we usually can't see any more than what we can see. But everything that we do see at one time could not be seen.
That's deep. We gotta do like that down there.
Rob. Everything that we're looking at right now, everything that our eyes can see at one time was not seen. Someone had a vision, and they stepped out in their vision, and it was created. Isn't that awesome? So,
yeah.
If all of us have that ability, what is it that we envision that we can't see and no one else can see, but we don't have the discipline to step out and bring it into existence?
So you saying, in other words, the power is in the unseen.
No, whoa, no. The power is in us to bring about the unseen. But most of us, Rob, don't do what we're trying to do. Is we're always asking, seeking, and knocking, and we moving, and all of a sudden, boom, whoa, there it is. Wow, I did not see that coming. I did not. I don't want to start preaching this morning, but it's in my heart, because everybody is talking. What's the big topic? People done forgot about who's in the White House, what's happening hey, they are talking about one thing, Rob. How could young Mr. Sanders not be selected? But have we ever thought about maybe the best thing that's going to ever happen for him in his professional career is him not being selected in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, wherever he gets selected. If that is what is best for him, wouldn't we want that? And then we could even thank those people who did not see in him, or for whatever reason did not select him. But Rob, I believe that wholeheartedly. A lot of times things don't go the way that we want them to go, and all of a sudden we're trying to make it. And then you say, whoa. Maybe it wasn't now. The time was not now. Maybe that wasn't right. Maybe the best thing that happened was the thing that we didn't believe should happen. And you know how that happens. But Rob, a lot of things that we wanted to make, or that we did make happen, wasn't the best thing for us.
That's why they call it a surprise. And then when you don't understand the surprise, you call it a phenomenon. And further than that, when you really don't understand the phenomenon, we call it a miracle.
God did it. God did it. God did it. Rob, hey, it's going to be a great day. We want to say good morning to everybody. And if you're listening at a later date and it's not morning, we want to say hello. But what we really want you to do today, is to join us and to share. And I'm telling people, stop calling me. People don't even know me. And Rob, when I share on the social platforms, people will ask questions that they won't ask while we're on. And I'm saying, wait a minute.
They shy.
No, Rob, I don't think they're shy. I just think that I don't want to put myself out there. No, come on. I want to. If you know something I don't know, and something that'll be a blessing to me and Rob and what we're attempting to do, please share that with us. God don't just speak to us; He speaks to you too.
Yeah.
You might see something, you might have a suggestion or an idea. Hey, and there may be some things, Rob. What happens when you share some information? A lot of times when people get back with me, they're asking me, "Can you explain that to me?" And I'm saying, "Now, why you didn't put in the comments or check in and say, hey, go back over that, or explain that to me again so that I can understand that, or better yet, did you pick up the phone and give a call to the Henderson Financial Group? At what number, Rob?
305-825-1444.
And did you ask, can I make an appointment with Mr. Henderson? Can I catch him between flights of going to California or coming from California? Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, that's it for James T. Robert Henderson. Go jump to it.
Hey, James, I was 30,000 feet in the air on that airline, man. And I was on my email, sending emails back to Tavares and going, and I said, oh my God, man, it's the first time I'm sending really emails back. Usually I just relax, but 5 hours in the air, I said, I got to get something done. I even took a test in the air.
Wow.
I took a training while 5 hours. I said, I got to make use of my time. I can't sit up and watch these silly movies.
Discipline.
I took a test and I was doing emails, man. That's amazing. Brenda Brown, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now says, Nail Spot says, surprise, surprise, surprise. Isn't that right, Mr. and Mrs. Redhead? Miss Joanne Weatherspoon, you and Joe. Surprise, surprise. You know what I'm amazed at, James, when you just started talking about the draft and the shock and the amazement and the phenomenon that Shakur Sanders didn't get drafted in the first or second round. We don't know if he's gonna get in the third round, but I was totally taken aback when I looked at the TV and I seen all those people outside the draft, the NFL draft. I said, what? That thing looked like a concert, do you see how many people was attending the draft out there in the audience? And when they paying to see all them people like little ants, that's amazing to me.
I understand that it was over 200,000 the first night, and that but again, Rob, what you're saying is now you were quote unquote flying to and fro, and
LA,
right, and you were trying to also do business while quote unquote en route, and all of a sudden, hey, everybody gets excited and it's the power of media, actually, is what it is. The power of media being, I want to be a part of something big. Now, how many of those people, faces we'll remember? How many of those people in the audience, and even some of the people, the athletes that came up to do presentation, I wasn't familiar with many of them, and what they've done. And I've been around.
Well, I'm just amazed and shocked at the things that so many people are interested in that really doesn't hit the core or affect their lives and their way of living. I'm just amazed at that. I'm amazed at how many people gather and pay and the things that people pay their attention to. When we're living in times where, the world has continued to change. And time is very, very precious. That's why I said when I was 30,000 feet in the air, flying from Fort Lauderdale to LA, 5 hours, I had to make use of my time. I mean, I was pulling my laptop up and you know, and I was doing some things. I did a training, took a test, did a lot of emails, answered them, and talked to different people, and uh, I was doing stuff. Those 5 hours. I'm just amazed at how people spend their time. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying
Mm.
with the housing market, with the political scene, with just living, just people losing jobs. I'm just surprised at the what people really value, and trust me, and I think people, in terms of survival, sometimes I'm not so sure that's on the top of people's list. Economic survival. I think people like to have just enjoy and like to have a good time more than making sure that and getting their financial house in order. I think people would really like to, and matter of fact, I don't have to think. It's obvious. It shows that that's the case. People want to be more entertained than anything. People want leisure, and I guess that's why the powers that be, the people that have the spoils, don't care about the people who don't, because they feel that the people who don't really, their attention is in other places. I was reading something also. I was telling my wife I was reading about this organization, man. They said it's far right organization. They said the biggest problem with America right now that's killing America is this weak. They call it weak, and they call it woke thing called empathy. I've never read anything like that, where you have a society, a group of people, big force, and they're out there, and they basically says that the thing that's bringing America down is empathy. And that's the first time I ever read that. I thought you should have that. I guess that's why you look at people do unconscionable things, because having empathy, I think is I think they're saying it's going out of style. I think you're supposed to crush, kill, and destroy. I don't know, but that's amazing, the time that we're in right now, and that goes counter to a lot of spiritual teachings. You know what I mean? Love. It definitely goes counter to love. But that's just amazing what's out here in the atmosphere, in the world, that's circling in the media, and a lot of people are succumbing to that. But that's not my sermon today. My teaching sermon today, I'm going to tell you two different stories, and I'm not going to tell you, just like last week I didn't tell you exactly when at the end we talked about what an IUL, Index Universal Life, does, what it could do. I could go on and on more. This week I'm going to describe another strategy, but first I'm going to tell you the story which I use this tool in order to help somebody, in order to share. And at the Henderson Financial Group, that's what we're all about. We're all about helping solutions. I've never seen a problem that did not have a solution. We're in the business of creating and analyzing, diagnosing, and prescribing financial medicine, financial strategies to the ills that goes on, financial ills that goes on in many people's lives every day. And most people don't know who to turn to. They ain't never seen that. What is this? But when you come to the Henderson Financial Group, we'll tell you that. We've probably seen it. We're going to analyze it, diagnose it, and then we're going to prescribe treatment for it. And the only thing you got to do is show up and be listening, and be ready and able to go ahead and act, so we can go do our jobs. It'll come out fine.
Doctor, call the doctor. Call the doctor.
That's right, the financial doctor, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first story I'm going to back into and tell you what we did, what was the problem. I'm taking y'all into the operating room here. So I'm telling you exactly what we have, because I'm going to tell you a story so that you can look at it. And when I'm telling you the story, I want you to think about yourself or a loved one, someone else that may be in a similar story, because the things that happen to each and every one of us, it's just not us. It really is just not us. It happens to people that we won't even know. I mean, like my name, Robert Henderson. If you Google Robert Henderson and looking in the yellow page, oh my God, there's all kind of Robert Hendersons. It's a whole lot of them. You know what I mean? A whole lot of them. It ain't me, but just because your name John, there's a lot of James out there. There's a lot of James Thomas out there. Whole lot of them. They come in all walks of life: black, white, Spanish, everything, right? Julio.
Yeah, Jose
Thomas.
Jesus, whatever.
So whatever you have, trust me, it ain't just you. It ain't just you. A lot of people have or feel the same way. So this first case I'm going to talk to you about and I'm going to reveal how we cured or how we solved this challenge, this financial problem. And then I'm going to go into a second case, a whole nother financial tool that we pull out of the toolbox to help this person. And like I said, I want you to be able to see yourself in this situation. And even if it's not you, then I want you to be able to, when you see somebody, because you will see somebody in a situation like that, you say, well, you know, maybe that technique that Henderson used can apply for that person. Call the Henderson Financial Group and see, does this illness or this financial strain, is it cause for using that certain type of strategy that Henderson used on that lady or on that man? Okay, y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay, so I got a call from a banker, and only some bankers do this. They'll call Henderson Financial Group. They'll call me and they say, Robert, I got a case for you that we can't really handle. We can take the lady money and keep the lady money, but we're really not doing a service. So I know you're going to take care of her and you're going to give her the right thing. And it's a lot of service that we don't offer at the bank. So Robert, I'm going to send it to you. And I said, thank you. You know, so here's a lady, Spanish lady. She's like 83 years old. I'd never met her in my life. This lady was living on fixed income. And she was living on fixed income. And after her matter of fact, her rent was like $2,400 a month. And her Social Security could not pay that. So she had to get a roommate, and they would split that. And then they would split that along with any other type of money that she had, and family and friends helped her. But at the end, each month, she would have around $45, $50 left. 83-year-old lady, couldn't travel, couldn't do nothing, just didn't like. But I looked and said, what do you have? What's in your bag? What do you have? So I looked at what she had, and she has like $130,000 that was sitting in a stock account. And I said, oh Lord, 83-year-old got the money in the stock market. And y'all know what's happening with these tariffs and the volatility of the stock market. It's going up, it's going down, but she don't understand it. They just have her there. You know, the brokerage firm, they don't really care. They get fees off of it. So they just had it there. And then she has an IRA, and she has some more money, right? So I said, so what do you want me to do? She says, Mr. Henderson, can you take what I have, mix it together, mix it up? It says, if I can just get at least $500 more per month, I'd be okay. You know, I can at least have a little breathing room. Because right now, I only have, after I pay for everything, I only have about $50 left every month. And this is going on, and I'm 83 years old. A very nice lady. And I said, let me look at what you have. And I looked at it, and I said, let me make a few calls. And I called right in front of her. And then I called some people that deal with this type of financial instrument. And I told them, okay, let's look on the board and let's see based on the age. And came up with a strategy that if she take $130,000 out of the stock market, because in the stock market it's volatile and it's not doing any good and it's not paying her dividends per month. So she said, if you can just figure out to use my money and where it's safe, I don't want it to be, you know, volatile. I don't want to lose it. Put it somewhere where it's safe. So I told her about a CD. That we put it in a CD, then it's not going to pay her the type of monthly that she needs. Plus, the CD, the rates are low. Plus, it's not as lucrative, and it's not going to go on as long. You know, maybe a 2-year, 3-year, 1 year, 5-year CD, but that's it. You know. So I told her about this strategy, where she took the $130,000, we rolled it over, and we put it into an account that's guaranteed and backed by insurance companies. I tell you, next to God, the insurance companies have the most money, okay? So we took that money and we put it into an investment where the principal is guaranteed. She can't lose a dime. And because of her age being 83 years old, they gave her a 20% bonus. So in other words, well, anybody that put money in there in this account, they'd give you 20% bonus. So she put that $130,000 in there. So they gave her 20% on top of that. So see, so she would have took the $130,000 and tried to just get interest and dividends off of it. That's only $130,000. But once you take and put it into with this insurance strategy that I use on her, the $130,000 they gave 20% bonus, which is $26,000. So now she got 130 plus 26,000. That's $156,000 to start getting a return on, guaranteed. So I took that, transferred it to this investment. they gave her a 20% bump more, which is now instead of 130 is 156. And then they started paying her. They said they'll pay her next month for the rest of her life $1,098. She done there, flipped her, she done there, did a flip that they said, I was just saying, here's you can help me to get like $500. You doubled that. You got more than what I even asked for. I said, yes. Now, starting next month, we're going to transfer this money over, and you're going to get $1,098 more than what you were getting before you laid eyes on me. She gave me a hug. She said, call my son. I called her son. Her son was in Houston. Another Spanish guy, Julio, called him, and I went over the plan, and he was like, well, what is this? And I told him, I said, listen, this strategy is called a guaranteed fixed index annuity. He said, what? I said, yes. Well, you put your money in, and it's for income. It's for cash flow. And that's what the doctor ordered for her. She needed more cash flow. She wasn't trying to take $130,000 and turn it into $260,000. She wasn't trying, because when you try to flip it like that, I mean, you're trying to grow it and get more return. But anytime you try to grow money fast, there's risk. It's the same concept. If you driving and you need to get somewhere fast, you got to go faster, which means that you can get a ticket, which means somebody can pull in front of you, get an accident. There's more risk. The faster you go, there's more risk that you can get hurt, get killed, get a ticket. It's the same thing in terms of investing your money. When you go fast, man, you got to be careful somebody don't pull out in front of you. You got to be fast. You got to be careful something doesn't happen. That's like having your money in the stock market and all of a sudden Trump tweets something, your money go down. And you like, it wasn't your fault, but it still go down. When you in the income phase, when you're trying to get some guaranteed income, you don't have time to mess with that foolishness. You can't put the ball in somebody else's court. You can't put the ball in somebody else's hand. You got to take the ball and do what you do and make sure that it's safe and it's secure, and you're going to get that money just like a Social Security check. Okay. So we did that, James. That lady was so happy. Then I talked to her son and we explained the strategy. So he says, okay, what happened is my mom, that 130,000. What happened? My mom need, 5,000. I said she can get 10% of it because it's like a pension now. She can get 10%. I said, your mom is 83 years old. So this $1,098 gonna go over. If she live another 200 years, they got to pay her. If she live another 500 years, the insurance company guaranteed to pay her. She cannot run out of money. She don't have to worry about not having enough money, because it's like the tree. And it's like the fruit off the tree is that $1,098. It's just going to stay. There's a big oak tree. It's firm. She said, oh my God. She just kept hugging me. And I said, yeah. She said, I didn't know this. I said, that's why the good Lord put this black dude with these glasses on to explain it to you. You never know. And this is a Spanish lady. You never know where the wisdom and understanding and help is going to come from. That is true. It really is true. So now, what did I use, y'all? I used a fixed guaranteed index annuity, but I used one. I looked at when I was sitting there looking at her situation, I looked at 5 of them, and that didn't do that one. I needed one, because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of companies, once you get 85 years old, a lot of companies says if it's 86 years old, they don't want to take your money because they figure you're almost dead and they got to pay more money. So the cutoff. So you got to do something before Big Mama turned 86 years old. You follow me? When you want to get some of these strategies, really, and life insurance, it started getting tough after age 60. Excuse me. After age 70, it started. You got to be really sharp. You got to be like James T, in good shape after 70 to get some life insurance to bet on you that you're going to be alive. James, he not only just saying he going to make it to 120, but he eats like it. He's in good shape. He got that. He backs it up. He's not saying he going to live to 120, but he got a CPAC on. He all messed up and he got to take all kind of medication. No. James T, he said if you're gonna live at 120, he back it up. He makes sure he oil his oil. He put gas. He takes care of his body. Trust me. So if you want to live long, you got to do the right thing. Insurance companies basically want to see that you're doing that and you care about and y'all partnership and you ain't gonna die on them. Then they'll go ahead and give you the plan. Anyway, that plan right there is an income annuity. Now, there are growth annuities, there are accumulation annuities, but I didn't need that tool. This lady didn't want to, she wasn't trying to accumulate no more money. Well, she needed money, right? She only had $50 left at the end of the month. So I had to switch and get a different type of plan, a different type of annuities. And guess what? This annuity ain't like that variable annuity with Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey don't like. No. They don't, it's don't pay, it's don't charge you 3%, 3.5%, or 2.5% of hidden fees. Now, I don't like those. I don't like variable annuities. I like plain and vanilla. It's like I don't like variable interest rates. I like plain and vanilla. What you say you're gonna charge me is what you're gonna charge me. Don't come with some other crap. And what I'm gonna get, that's what I'm gonna get. That's what I like. Let me see it plain and simple. I don't want to wonder. I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to be that when it comes to the money. All right. So that's the first case. But that's the case right there. People say, Rob, what was that? That was a guaranteed fixed index annuity, but that was an income designed for income. There are other annuities that we gave her 6%. There's some that we gave her 7%. There's some that gave her 4%. But this one right here gave her more than 8%. Plus, they gave her a bonus to start getting interest off of. Follow me? And dividends off of that. So it's pretty good. Let me tell you one thing about annuities. This same lady, since she was 83 years old, and she put that $130,000 there, and next month they're gonna start paying her for the rest of her life. Come rain, she ain't gotta call me. It's gonna show up in her check in her bank account, automatic bank draft every month, like clockwork. Before she got her bed, bam, that money gonna be there. That $130,000 giving her that's more than $12,000 a year, you know. I think it's kind of like $13,000 or something like that. But she's gonna get that. Now, in that same scenario, if she was 50 years old and she came to me with $130,000 and was in the same boat, the same situation, but she's 50, the insurance companies wouldn't pay her $1,098 because annuities, when it comes to income, is based on age and amount you have in there. Let the church say amen. Now that right there, y'all should be saying, what you talking about, Henderson? Yeah. If somebody 50 years old would have came to me with the same problem and said they need to get more money instead of having $50 at the end of the month, they need to get more money off their income, off their $130,000. If they're 50 years old, there's nowhere in the world the insurance company will pay them $1,098. And let me tell you something, this lady right here, if she would wait 1 year, the insurance company would pay her more than $1,098. If she, listen, every year she would wait, they would add 7.5% more on her principal that she's starting with. So if it's at 156, it started at 130. They gave her 20% bonus, which is 26,000. Now it's like she got 156,000. If she just delayed her payments for 1 year, that's going to give her another 7.5% on top of that 156. She would have more. Then she could start income. Every year that she delays taking it, she gets more. It's similar to the same concept and strategy of Social Security. If you take it at 62, you get a certain amount. But if you wait and delay it and get it at 65, you get more per month. Same. Social Security ain't nothing but a big old fat annuity. They just fancy up these words, but the same principle, the same concept is the same. The longer you wait, the more you get paid. It's the same.
So, Rob,
thing.
What you're saying is that if her son gifted her, quote unquote, that since she had $50 left over, she really wanted $500. If he said, "Okay, Mom, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you $450 a month, and you let that stay there for a year," she would turn around and get even more than the $1,096 or whatever it was that she was going to get. And
yeah, but then that again, that's depending on the son, depending on somebody else.
Oh, right. That's why I'm saying. See, what we do is the son obviously was probably very thankful because
probably
because I'm
he
sure
was doing backflips. He's in Houston. He was like, "Thank you, Lord."
Right. But folks, that is why, quote unquote, vision and discipline is so important, because we may not get there, but what if we do? Rob, a lot of time, I'm not going to live to be, you don't know how long you gonna live. You know, yeah. Hey, I'm speaking it because it's what I desire. But
Well,
hey, the fact is, I want to also be prepared, Rob. I want to be prepared for tomorrow, today, not waiting to get prepared tomorrow for tomorrow. I want to be prepared. I want to be prepared for basic needs. I want to listen to the Henderson Financial Group. I want to have health plans. I want to, hey, I want you, hey, give me that MRI, so that what if, and doesn't matter who's in the outhouse, the White House, Congress, Senate, whatever. There's some basic things that we can do for ourselves and not depend on others to do for us.
yes, and so let me. I can hear somebody like Lillian used to always say. She hear the people saying, somebody saying that, what if Big Mom at 83? What if she was getting that 1,098 starting next month, every month on time, and let's just say next year she gave up the ghost, she went to heaven, she died. What happens to that money that she put in there? Well, when she signed up the document, she has the beneficiaries. So the beneficiaries, the insurance company won't let them ride that pony and give them 1,098. They're gonna the insurance company will give the whole thing, the balance, will give the whole amount of money, lump sum, to the loved ones. Whoever you put down as beneficiary, you can put 10 people down. You can put your grandsons down there. You can put one person down there. You can put the church down there. Whoever you want to name as beneficiary. This Spanish lady, whoever she wanted to learn, now she has 4 children, right? And I said, why you put the son? He's the most businessman, but she had 2 sons and 2 daughters. But she picked the son that's in Houston because she said he's more business savvy and he's financially, kind of well off, so to speak. But the thing is some of you all saying, what happened if she died? What happens to the money? The insurance company wants your money. I told you, next to God, they got the most money on the planet. So they would actually give the balance, the lump sum. They would give it to whoever she named as beneficiary. And if she named you a beneficiary, don't be trying to get no money from the insurance company because you're wasting your time.
Someone just said, Helen, I think it is, says, will she have to pay taxes on that income, Rob?
Yes. And that's one of the trade-offs. She would have to pay taxes because remember, it's like new money. I mean, it's like, earned money. It's like new money. Yes, she had to pay taxes. But the good thing about the annuity is the way they set that up, it's not a dollar for dollar. It's not dollar for dollar, the way dollar for dollar. Like she don't have to pay tax on that whole amount. It's a percentage that she has to pay tax on, which is pretty good. It's better than, having to pay tax all of the money. No, it's pretty good, but it's still better than what she had, because remember, she only had like $50, like enough for the month, every month after she paid her bills. But now she was saying if she can get to 500, she could do some things, feel lively, feel alive. But I did something and transferred and moved the money over to something safe, especially safer than the stock market, and I put it in something that she don't have to worry about losing a penny, and it pays her income, and that's what she wanted. She just ain't know what it was about. She never heard of the instrument. Her son never heard of it. They ain't know how it worked. But I explained it to him. Okay, so that's that case. But the thing about it is, yes, and let me tell you another thing. If the 83-year-old lady wanted to do this for 5 years and say, listen, I don't want to pay no more. I'm 5 years, 83. Now she's 88 years old. She said, I don't need no more money. She can say, just give me my money, and they'll give her money. Right now. The thing about it is you have a early withdrawal penalty. So if let's say the first year she would have said, here's my 130,000, and they're gonna bump it up to 156, and then 1 year she goes by and she's getting $1,000 a month. So she done took out, $1,098. She done took out, let's say, almost $13,000, and then she said, hey, year's over, give all my money back. They're gonna feel that, the insurance company gonna feel like you trying to slick us. So they're gonna charge a 10% penalty for early withdrawal. That's all, they will. I wouldn't put you in this stuff like that if you're trying to be a gamer. Damn, there's a lot of people try to outgame the system. You won't be surprised how many people make up their own lotto numbers every day and go to Florida, Tallahassee, trying to claim they won the lottery, and they done made their own. They done doctored up the winning ticket. People try that, man. Y'all don't understand how many different people that's on the planet with different mindset. You don't know what they was thinking. It's amazing. And so many people always trying to rip people off and get something for nothing. I cannot believe how many people over 21 years old still running around trying to get something for nothing. The system is not set up to get something for nothing. The universe is not set up to get something for nothing. Hell, you can't even breathe out of your mouth unless you breathe in. Hell, you got to give, then inhale and exhale. You can't just keep exhaling. You got to inhale, so you got to give and take. I mean, that's
Frank says, Rob, how many years was the contract?
Well, that's a 10-year contract. And that's a 10-year contract, but she don't have to go 10 years. Hell, she wanted to be a 100-year contract. She wanted the insurance company to be on the hook for 100 years. But they say 10 years, and after that, we'll go. But from 83 to 93, it's pretty good. Man, Frank been listening to me a long time. Ain't gave me no business, Jane. We used to be on before we even start. Well, Frank, hey, I love you, brother. Whoever you're giving it to, God bless him. Hey, we used to be on 880. Frank used to call in and listen to me, boy.
Oh,
Frank
really?
Retired. Yeah, man. I remember that Frank. He done retired and everything. Ain't gave the brother here no business. but that's okay. That's okay, God. I get mine. All right. So now let's go on to the second story I'm going to tell you guys about. This guy was a barber and he retired. And I used to tell him, man, you got to start putting some money away. He would have a good time. But now he has retired. And the barbers get that cash. So it's not like he put a lot of money in a 401k or IRA or Roth or even in the stock market. I mean, he just was having a good time. A lot of people that make cash dollars, man, I don't know. There's something about a lot of people that make tips and cash. Somehow they don't really, I don't know too many that actually invested. I think a lot of them just psychologically, when they get that greenback dollars, they spend it. They go out shopping or take cash to the clubs or restaurants. I don't know. But this guy right here, now, one thing he did do now, all that money, all them years, he paid off his house. He paid off his house. Now, so what happens? He took a lot of his money. He didn't invest it, but he paid off his house. The value of his house has grown tremendously because y'all know real estate, in the last 10 years have really grown. The only drawback about the real estate when paying off your house and putting so much of the money in there is that it's not like you put it into a black hole. You put it in there and it's in the walls, and now you don't have no job, and you got to go, oh, shoot, how am I gonna get it back? How am I gonna get it out? I mean, you focus on doubling up, paying it off. But when you paying it off and doubled up money and all that and did overtime and extra money, you paid the mortgage company and now you have no mortgage and you like, yes. One thing you don't never get rid of them taxes, property taxes, you don't never get rid of that. And that if you want to cover your homeowner insurance, you never get rid of that. Matter of fact, this guy said, hell with homeowner insurance. He ain't had he said he ain't doing no homeowner insurance. He ain't paying that high homeowner insurance. So he just got to pay the property taxes. But this guy basically just paid his house off. Now, like I say, now he is retired. He got a little Social Security, but it ain't much. It's like $1,000, $1,200 a month. That's because it's early years. He put, before he really got into barbering, so he did some taxes, but it's like $1,200 a month. But he needs more money now, and all the money really that he paid, is in paid for the mortgage. He paid the house off, but now you can't go to Publix or Winn-Dixie or Walmart or Costco and say, hey, give me this milk, give me this stuff, my house paid off. No, because they need it to be liquid. They need to get it. And if you don't retire, how in the heck you gonna get the money from the bank? You got to go to the bank and plead with them and tell them how you gonna pay them back to get your own money that you put in the walls because you paid the mortgage off. Isn't that something? I want y'all to think about what I'm saying for a minute, man, because when you really think about it, it don't make a whole lot of sense. You got to have a better plan, especially if you're gonna retire and pay off your house. That means you done blocked all the money up in the walls in the dirt. And another thing I want you to understand is now, when you pay off the house and the money is equity, they call it, it's in the walls, basically. In other words, it's, you can't grab it or go shopping with it, but they just say your house paid off and they tell you what your house appraised at. Is my house appraised at $800,000, and you feel like you $800,000 richer, but you really don't really feel like that because because you ain't got 800,000. So really, is it really an illusion? I mean, is it really just a psych out? I mean, I put my money in there, I put all my money in this house, and now they say it's 800,000. And you got a nerve not to have homeowners insurance in case the thing burned down. And then you ain't got nothing. You got to at least protect that. If you're protecting that old car, you got to at least protect that house because you got $800,000 in there. Damn, how much it costs for the insurance? You got to protect what you have. You know what I mean? It's like a hockey player not protecting the goalie. I mean, you got to protect that, but he's I ain't protecting that because it costs too much. Which one costs too much? The insurance or the house burned down or flood? Okay, but that's another story. But think about that. When you done paid off this house, this happened to this guy. And he said, Robert, I think I've been had.
By whom?
He said the sister, man, because he said he can't sell the house. He could sell the house, but where's he gonna go? He said he don't want to leave South Florida. His house worth $800,000 now. He said, man, when he bought that house, I think he said paid $100 and some thousand for the house. It's $800,000, but he feel like the house is worth that, but he ain't got nothing in his bank account. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a barber. He said he's gonna start cutting a little, but it's still not enough because the cost of living. So he said, Rob, can you help me out? I said, yeah, I got just a thing for you. So now, here he is. I said, okay, what we'll do is, I said, there's a government program called the new reverse mortgage, not the old reverse mortgage. He said, Rob, I heard about that, man. I don't want to do no reverse mortgage. I said, okay, forget the name, because y'all people don't like these names. These names here, that's like you're saying that just because the name you don't like something. Designers do it all the time. You think you got a Prada jeans on, you go pay $500 for some Gucci jeans in the same factory. Them same jeans and the same material is Wrangler, but they just at a certain time they turn off the Wrangler label, and them same jeans they put Gucci on there, and y'all pay $500 instead of paying $60 or whatever for the jeans. It's just mankind is something else. But anyway, so I said, let me fix this for you. I said, here's a product. Your house is valued about $800,000. I said, what we could do is we could take $300,000 out of it, and you don't have to pay it back until you're dead. You have no monthly payment, just like you have right now. Right now, you're happy because you don't have any monthly payment. You just got to pay the property taxes every year, and you ain't paying the homeowner insurance, which is crazy. I said, I'm gonna take enough out so you can pay the homeowner insurance to protect your asset. You got to protect the goal, man, goalpost. You got to protect the touchdown. And you got to have a defense. You can't just be on offense. You got to have a defense. And I said, I'll get the homeowners insurance coverage. I'll get the premium, the cost much cheaper than what you had. So, we got to cover. We got to have some insurance. Got to have some insurance in case a hurricane comes, because we live in South Florida. He said, okay. So I said the house is worth $800,000. You're not getting a dime off of it, because when you have equity in the house don't grow 1 penny. That equity don't grow 1 penny a year. It don't grow. It grows. Y'all think the bank don't pay you nothing when you put money in a savings account. When you put money and your house is paid off and you have all that equity tied up in the house, you have no mortgage, you ain't earning 1%. You ain't earning a penny per year. Houses don't go up in value based on how much equity, how much you paid off. No, houses go up in value. They increase in value based on market value, the appraised value of the neighborhood. That's it. I want y'all to let that sink in. In real estate, houses increase in value based on the appraised value. And the appraised value is based on the neighborhood and what the next door neighbor, how they paint their house, and people don't trash. It's a nice neighborhood. That's why people don't want you coming in their neighborhood and fixing cars and having oil cans and all outside. They want you to actually care about your lawn, because it makes the whole neighborhood price increase. And people, I know it's your house, you can do what you want to, but if you want to start having a paint and body shop right there in front of the lawn, that's going to hurt the other neighbors' value of their homes. If you start having old broke down cars all in front of your house and you fixing everybody's car, half fixing it, and it's a junkyard dog like that, you're going to hurt somebody else's appraised value, not the equity. The appraised value. Houses increase in value based on appraised value, not how much, just since you haven't paid off. When you paid up a house, what you did was you took your money out of play, out of making money, and put it somewhere where it makes no more money. And money should always be making money. Money should always be working for you. Hell, if you're not going to work, something got to work. If you don't want to work no more, your money does so got to work. You can't be retired and your money. Can you? If you retired and your money retired, y'all broke. A homeless man, there's no money working for him. And he ain't working. And that's why he's homeless. You got to have some, either you're going to be doing the work or your money going to be working. Wealthy people have figured it out. They're tired of working. Their money working. Me, I love to work, but I love my money work even more. My money make way more money than when I work. That baby been working. Okay.
Both of them.
both of us. All right. So let me show you what this guy did. Since he ain't like the word new reverse mortgage, let me tell you, let me work out through the strategy because I want y'all to see yourself in it. And if you need help, we can help you with it because we know who to go to. We know how to get it done. Okay. So here's the case. We know the house appraised at $800,000. He has no mortgage. So I said, okay, this program said if you're at least 62 years old, and this guy is single, but it happens too if you're married also. I said he could take 500 out, but no. I said I want you to take out 300 and leave 500 in there. When I say take out, I want you to get a line of credit, so to speak, borrow against it from the federal government. Government got more money. They got a program. So you do the new reverse mortgage. So here he is. He takes out $300,000. They don't give him no monthly payment. All he has to do is keep doing what he's doing. Just pay the property taxes. But he has no monthly payment. He don't have to pay the people back until he dead. Think about that. That's a good deal. I can get some money and I ain't got to pay you back until I'm dead. Woo! Try to get that back. You know. But what we did was we said $300,000. They gave him half of it up front, $150,000. The other $150,000, I told him don't take that, leave that $150,000. They have something called a line of credit that pays 7%. Wow, interest, compound. That $150,000, he could take it anytime he wants to, but he said just put it right over there. And when he put it right over there, it's earning 7%. Can you believe that? And he took the 150. He said, "Oh my God, Henderson, I don't have to pay no taxes on this money." Now, I remember on the first case I just told you about, the old lady, 83-year-old lady, she getting $1,098. She paid income taxes on that money because it's new money. But this guy right here, when he takes the 300, but he leave 150 in there, he put it. They call it you can leave whatever you want in there. You ain't got to take it all out and go gambling or whatever. So he took half of it. The other 150 he left there, and they said they're gonna pay him 7% compound on that. Do you know what that is? How much that's gonna grow? Compound 7%. The rule of 72. Woo. Okay. The other 150, I said, what we need to do with this, we're gonna give you a stream of income, but I also need to put some life insurance on you. He said, why, Henderson? I said, because you talk about your sons, you know, you want to make sure if something happened, you want to leave the house to them. So whenever you die, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, whatever you die. And this guy happened to be 66 years old like me. So I said, if you live another 20 years, another 30 years, and you're 96, and then when you get ready to die, the reverse mortgage people say, hey, remember that 300,000 that, you know, we gave you? Well, actually, he only took out 150. That other 150 doesn't go to 300,000. Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. So he don't really own basically nothing because it's compounding. He have access to it, but it's invested for him, and it's earning 7%. Not even the stock market. That's amazing. So we took and we got the life insurance on him. We got $500,000 life insurance on him actually. So when he ever die, whether it's 20 years, 30 years, his loved ones can take that money and pay off the reverse mortgage people and keep the house and sell the house or whatever. But he was so amazed by that strategy. Now he retired, but he feels really, really good. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. And guess what? The way I structured the life insurance, how much we putting in there, that's going to grow. It's not, I ain't give him no death benefit life insurance. I gave him cash value life insurance where he put in the savings and it's growing also and compounding. So now that life insurance that I gave him, part of that money, when he takes money out of that, that's tax free. So he have money from there, and he still have extra money to go do what he wants. He said he wanted to clean up his backyard and expand the patio and kind of stuff, But he was so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the type of strategies that we see these cases every day. And imagine us seeing different cases every day for years and years. When your case come on, man, we know how to we know where to call, how to do it, how to analyze the diagnosis. We've seen this before. You probably haven't seen it before, and you think it's so hard, but you don't know what to do. That's why it's important for you to have a relationship with a company like the Henderson Financial Group. We're financial coaches, we're financial physicians. We're going to tell you whether it's stocks or investments or whatever it is. Matter of fact, and this guy right here, since he happened to be single, I said, listen, once we do this, I have to set you up with a living trust. He said, why didn't living trust? Because I need to, if something happens to you, I don't need this property going to probate. I need to go into your son. I need to have it in the trust. So then we can do the trust. Plus, when you do a reverse mortgage, they like you to have a living trust. You don't have to deal with no probate, no lawyers and people arguing and creditors, So we did that also. So yeah. So we helped them with I sent him the link. And we helped him to also create a living trust. And that's very important. And he loved that, man. Okay. And create the beneficiaries and everything. He loved it. So that avoids probate, avoid attorneys and all that. And we was proactive. Those are two cases that I want to highlight to you all, let you know that there's help. And you don't lean on your own understanding. Nobody knows everything. This is all I do. Now you ask me, can I do the wobble or the line dance? I can't do none of that.
You mean boots on the ground? You don't know how to put boots on the ground, right?
No, I don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't know how to do. I never even cooked rice in my life. Everybody in my house know how to cook. I don't know how to. Never. I try to do some eggs, they burn. I try to fry some eggs, scramble some eggs, they burn. You know what I mean? So I'm not good at that, and I'm painting and all that. I'm not. But this right here, the good Lord said, Robert, this is your gift. And I actually love it. And I continue to sharpen my knife and learn more and more. There's always new tools to use to help you financially. They're always coming up with new strategies and new tools. The whole industry, that's all they do is cater to financial planners and advisors to come up with new improved tools. And every industry have that, whether it's the music industry, whatever industry it is, the cooking industry, the auto industry, come up with new cars every year. When it comes to financial planning, there's new software, new tools, new strategies to help you to do things better. Now they got AI. So there's a lot of stuff that we can help you with that you just don't know. Don't just lean on your own understanding. And please, just because you never heard of it, don't mean that it's not out there. You want to get information on stuff you never knew about. You should not run away. I ain't never heard that. Doing it.
Rob, when we started the program this morning, that was what we were talking about. There are things that are there that we cannot see. But if we do not seek to find it, it may never appear in our lives. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And there are things out there that really don't even exist that are to come. But if so, are you prepared to receive it? So what are you doing in disciplining yourself to prepare for what may come that you can't see? Because we all know that in our lifetime, Rob, there were opportunities now that we can see what we see and know what we know. Those opportunities were there then, but we didn't take advantage of them. But there were some that we did take advantage of. So to all of the viewers and all of the listeners, come on. Hey, don't just sit there. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, good start. You don't know what you're going to do. So don't you want to reach out to someone that may be able to help you to do something that you can't do? And the Henderson Financial Group could be just that tool that you need so that they can share with you and for you to realize that you may have in your possession, as the gentleman had. He had something. I'm always reminded of what God told Moses. Moses standing there saying, "Oh God, here comes Pharaoh, and we can't swim across all this water." God said, "What's in your hand, Moses?" What is in your hand? So,
Moses couldn't see it one time, right?
Rob, he could. And then the miracle everybody talks about was, whoa, the sea was parted. That wasn't all it was. It says that they went across on dry land. Now, the water being parted, land being dry, they got over. And after that, shop was closed. As soon as Pharaoh, all his leaders and his army got into the tub, somebody turned on the faucet. Rob, there is such an opportunity for all of us to, quote unquote, stop for a moment, have a vision, and even if that vision is to make a decision that you're going to give the Henderson Financial Group a call. That's what decisions are. As a matter of fact, Rob, look, hey, I had to do this morning, because when I was studying, it said self-imposed standards, and some of those restrictions, that is going to be motivated by a desire greater than that we can see. What kind of restrictions, what kind of discipline, what kind of standard would you set for yourself, that will prepare you to receive something that will be great for you, but you can't see it? You don't know what it is. The two instances that Mr. Henderson gave this morning about people who were shown something that they could not see and they could not do, but it could be done for you. And we do this every Saturday. We tell you, hey, speak to yourself and then call a friend and share the information that was received this morning. Share this with us, because if you got yourself together, you good. There's somebody out there that you could be a blessing to by sharing the information with them.
Yes, it really, really is. We're here to share and to learn as much as we can and help each other. That's what our purpose is, to be all that we can be. And when you pray, don't pray for money. That's low hanging fruit. You don't want to pray for money. Money is a result of you doing something. That's what you want to pray for. You want to be the instrument that creates and produce money. You want money is just an afterthought. It's a result. It's not a cause. It's an effect.
Rob, the decision. We make. It is said that we make 7,000 to 10,000 decisions a day. But we don't stop to think about that was a decision I just made. We don't mark that off. The decision I made.
Well, you don't do nothing. You did make a decision. When you ain't do nothing, you just made a decision.
But you made a decision to do nothing. But what does that gain you? What does that get you? Hey, Rob, when I woke up, my decision was to get up.
And you did it.
Yes. Even before I got up, boom, boom, boom. Hey, okay. I was thinking of how to plan my day in my mind. Boom. All right, jump up. Hey, shower, water the plants. Took all kind of actions before I ever got here. But it was a decision to come. Come on, folks. This is really not hard. It's elementary, but you've got to start someplace. And if you keep doing, as they say, everybody knows this. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're gonna keep getting the same thing you've been getting over and over again. So, hey, make a decision to do something different, something that you have not done, and something that you really thought of. Because, hey, that conscious mind speaks to the subconscious, and speaks to that soul and creates actions. So you have got, first thing you could say is, what more can I do? Because that's one of my majors. What more can I do?
Yeah.
You know, Rob. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, when I called you yesterday, you said, I'm walking in the house, just getting in from the airport. Yeah. Hey, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're here. Sunday, hey, plan for a new week and a new day.
It's gonna. I say when I walked in after I talked to you, I started getting ready to go for a run, but I started talking to Natalie and Jazz. I said, "You get ready to go for a run?" I said,
thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie and Jazz. Hey, slow this brother down.
I was sitting in that plane 5 hours, man. I said, Lord have mercy. I need to go and move something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But James, boy, I got a new client, never met. She is in Philadelphia, and someone referred her to me. She sold her business for a lot of money, and she said, Henderson, I need your help. And I said, okay, we're gonna analyze, diagnose, and perhaps prescribe. That's what we're gonna do, you know.
Amen.
So she thought, you got to take action. Don't be afraid. Fear is a crippling emotion. You got to do it, and I promise not to hurt you. You can call me, and everything we talk about is confidential. And then I will actually help you with your situation. I don't care what situation you're getting ready to retire. If you just came into some money, if you need to get a budget together, if you need to get your financial housing together, just call the Henderson Financial Group at 305-825-1444. They arrange for a Zoom consultation meeting or go to meeting, or you can come to the office or just a conference call. If you don't want me to see you, we can talk on the phone. I can hear your voice. And then you can feel that, I'm sincere about helping you, okay? Call us, 305-825-1444. You can also go to our website at thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, okay? Amen. Listen, Jay, we need some prayer, bro.
All right, let's do that. Hey, I'm going to pray this prayer based on you're making a decision. All that are listening, all that will hear this, based on making a decision. So, Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we pray that you will give all of us the strength to self-impose standards and restrictions that will be motivated by a desire greater than the alternatives. Because making a decision, oh God, is to first put you first and seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, so that we can be all that you have created us to be, and so that we can be blessed by you, and the blessing can go through us to others, and they too will glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Boy, since I was reading something, I never thought I'd come to a time where I'm reading that people are worried about we not having enough babies in America. Matter of fact, this is humanity is in crisis worldwide. They said, I heard Elon Musk talking about that one of the biggest crises is humanity. People are not having enough babies and mankind being extinct. I thought about that, and I said, man, if that's true, ain't nothing really you could do about it.
Oh, yes, Rob. But he wasn't talking about us. Rob, he wasn't talking to us either.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, he said that's a problem. That is a big problem. That's what we're worried about.
That's
what we're worried about. All right.
As they say,
we gotta go, man.
Okay.
Hey, much love to y'all. Be safe. Donna. How you doing, Donna? Miss Vickers, Joseph Caravera, Frank Kemp. Still waiting on you, Frank. Still waiting on you. Give me some business. Helen Lee. Who else we got here? Redhead, Mrs. Now Spa. Yes. Hey, listen, same time, same station. We'll see you all back here next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Aaron Hines. How you doing? What's up, brother? That's 7th grade. Me and Aaron Hines. Hey, I met Aaron Hines in the 7th grade in middle school over the summer. We both started playing the drums. Tap, tap, tap. And Aaron Hines used to be cutting up in there. Not really, that was me cutting up. We had a good time. We've been friends ever since. 7th grade. Matter of fact, he was the best man at me and Natalie's wedding. Aaron, hang in there, brother. Much love. We'll talk later. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. I gotta go, man. I got a lot of stuff.
Make that decision. Don't forget. Make a decision. Make a decision today.
Peace, love, and happiness.